So anyway, stay tuned, and we'll haul some other stuff. All right, let's take a look at some of the movies now that I was able to find. This stack is the non-martial arts stuff, even though you might argue with me because you're pedantic, but for the most part, this stack here is just not martial arts stuff. First up is a Blu-ray of Brawl in Cell Block 99, which I felt like it was time I needed to see this. A lot of people recommended it. I'm a little iffy on some of the things about it, but I've heard good things, and I think people generally don't steer me wrong about stuff like that. Countermeasures, starring the dude, Michael Dudikoff. This is a Fred Olen Ray joint, so it is not of quality. And more than likely features stock footage from, I would wager, Flight of the Intruder. Just a hunch. I'm just going to say that right now. Proximity. This is actually new. This is sealed. No one's ever viewed this copy of Proximity before. This is the kind of thing that Rob Lowe was doing during and after The West Wing, when he thought he was king shit and should have been making a lot more money. Everything he did that was not prestige like The West Wing was weird shit like this. And I will never understand it. It's not something I could ever ask Rob Lowe about, although I am fascinated by it. I mean, I don't understand how you leave The West Wing and do Dr. Vegas as a TV show. I don't know, but this has a ton of people in it and is touted as being from the producers of the Matrix trilogy, which just means Joel Silver. So yeah, I don't know. Could be interesting. James Coburn, Jonathan Banks is in it. Yeah, tons of people in that. Relative Evil. This is one of those erotic drama things, probably. Has Jennifer Tilly in it, and it's a general rule that I will watch anything Jennifer Tilly is in. I like Jennifer Tilly. Executive Power. This is not the Clint Eastwood, Gene Hackman movie. This is probably the mockbuster version of that, but it has a cast of people, even more people on the back who are not credited above the title. I don't know. I've growing up in video stores, working in video stores, I've always been a fan of these. Like, these came out straight to DVD. They always have a soft spot in my heart. My big, huge heart. So, speaking of The Big Fall, which is a PM Entertainment joint, this thing is very much Point Break. Like, it's Point Break. It's cop C. Thomas Howell going undercover with a bunch of crazy people. It's Point Break, but it's PM Entertainment, so cars are going to flip over shit. Now, you're going to question me when I show this, but if you... stick with me. So anyway, I thought it was time to get a physical copy of Theodore Rex. Now, if you've listened to the Bamfcast episode about Theodore Rex, you might be asking, but why would you want a physical copy of that garbage? I like having a library of the movies that we've watched, for one. For two, this has DVD-ROM content. I can put this in a personal computer and get even more Theodore Rex. Maybe the script is on. Maybe the legal settlement of suing Whoopi Goldberg to appear in this film is on the DVD-ROM, and you can read through it. You can read the judge scolding her and saying, "You will do Theodore Rex because you promised." And last but not least, like I said, this is not the martial arts section, but Pocket Ninjas is a film that no doubt is going to be the hottest garbage because capitalizing. So it's a 2004 film on the Universal label somehow. I don't understand this at all, but it's a 2004 film, probably trying to capitalize on the three ninjas. I can't even imagine it. It's got to like, were they like, we'll put this on the shelf next to Three Ninjas or something? But so, okay, it's a it's a 2004 release, maybe capitalizing on the Three Ninjas thing from 10 years ago. It stars Robert Z'Dar. He is not on the cover. There might be a picture of him on the back here. It is hard to tell. But yeah, it's a 2004 Robert Z'Dar starring kids ninja film. How amazing is that? It's gotta be, right? I mean, it's gotta be. It's not gonna be. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be real bad. But I'll talk about it at some point, because I gotta go home and watch this right away. All right, martial arts stuff. All right, so for the actual martial arts movies, this is what I'm really looking for when I go places to find this kind of shit. Deadly Kung Fu Lady. She's a lady, and she's deadly. And she's got a little something right there. Should clean that up. Iron Monkey, but not the Iron Monkey you're thinking of, not the Donnie Yen movie. It is a different Iron Monkey. This is from 1977. A lot of these are completely, pardon the pun, foreign to me. I'm knowledgeable of a kung fu movie when I watch it, and I learn a little bit about it right after. But I don't have the martial arts background to say, oh, it's this and this and this happens. It's just, these are always a discovery to me all the time. It's just like, oh my god, this gotta watch. I will watch all of these. So this is a new movie. This really doesn't fit in with this. I didn't have a copy of The Man with the Iron Fists, so there was a very cheap Blu-ray, and I bought it. Black Mask 2 on DVD. I did not. I've seen Black Mask. I've never seen Black Mask 2. Jet Li is not in this one, but it does have WWF superstar Rob Van Dam. So, that guy. 20 movie pack, martial arts. Now, see, this is exactly what I want. I want a box with 20 movies in it that are martial arts. They're in here. Along those lines, Fists of Fire, Swords of Death. There's 10 movies in here. Probably some of the same ones that are in there. Probably. There's a movie on here called Kung Fu on Sale, which is good. I like affordable Kung Fu. And then another big pack. Here's 10 flicks with kicks. This is basically when I go into a store, I'm like, can you tell me where your flicks with kicks are? And when I walked into this store, he was like, it's over there. I also like that no one is kicking on the cover. Like you could really clip out people kicking, with kicks, because they're movies that have kicks in them. And they didn't do that. So, whatever. Everyone's favorite, Iron Man. Iron Man. You love Iron Man. Here it is. Here he is. Iron Man. Iron Man. The Invincible Kung Fu Trio, which is really giving away the whole thing. Like, I don't know dramatically what I'm going to be in for here if they're invincible. So it's just 3 people doing Kung Fu and they can't be stopped. So there's that. Gordon Liu, 4-film collection. This guy rules. You should watch the 36th Chamber of Shaolin. It's great. This guy's awesome. He's amazing. And everything I've ever seen him in, he is amazing. Iron Monkey 2, starring Donnie Yen. This is not the sequel to the other Iron Monkey that I showed you earlier. This is a sequel to Donnie Yen in Iron Monkey, but this is Iron Monkey 2. So here's another Jet Li double feature. It has Black Mask on it, which I've seen. I didn't like, but I saw it a long time ago. I should probably watch it again to be sure. Also, The Forbidden Kingdom, which I haven't seen yet. Jackie Chan and Jet Li teaming up. Probably not really. Dragon Fury. I can't tell you anything about Dragon Fury, but I'm going to watch it. Okay, so here's the other Jet Li double feature. Fearless and Unleashed. These are 2 strong Jet Li movies. Duel of the Brave Ones. It was new, and it was $4. I'm not going to argue with that. And then finally, what I think is my favorite of all the ones I found, this is some Bruceploitation going on here, because this is Dragon Lee versus the Five Brothers. And if you know anything about fighting, no one man can take on five brothers. It's impossible. No one man. But Dragon Lee is not just a regular man. He is sort of Bruce Lee, but not really. He's gonna fight five brothers in that, and I can't wait. I hope it's like a tier, like they have their own floor of a building, and each brother is on a different floor. That would be great. I don't know. But those are the martial arts movies I found on the trip. And really, I wish I'd brought something that played DVDs with me. I didn't. And I would totally be watching Dragon Lee versus the Five Brothers right now. Maybe it's on Tubi. I bet it's on Tubi. I'll go watch it on Tubi right now. So there you go. Next, I'm going to set up for albums. I'm going to show you some albums that I bought. And you're going to like that. Right? Okay, come back. Okay, why don't we look at the soundtrack albums that I bought on this trip? I dug through a lot of crates, and a lot of stuff jumped out at me. You're going to watch this, and like every reveal of the next one is going to be like, oh man, I would totally have that and put that on a wall if I was doing that. I just think these are cool, and they were inexpensive, and so let's just plow through these. Got Star Trek 3, Search for Spock soundtrack. Big Time, music by Smokey Robinson. This is a blaxploitation era film that I have not seen, that I need to sort of evaluate to see if it is good for the Bamfcast or not. The soundtrack for Three Tough Guys by Isaac Hayes. If there was a decent copy of this out there, we would have watched it on the show by now, but there's just not one. King Solomon's Mines, that was an extra movie, and the soundtrack, it's Jerry Goldsmith. It's pretty good. For Your Eyes Only, obviously. Blue Thunder. It's Blue Thunder. It's a cool art. Night's Light went out in Georgia. The night the lights went out in Georgia, featuring the "I Love My Truck" hit single by Glenn Campbell. So we've got music from Star Trek and music from The Black Hole. I just think this knockoff Star Trek art is rad. 2010 soundtrack, Love at First Bite, notably does not have the I Love the Nightlife song on it, which, if you remember, was edited out of, I believe, the DVD release, and they put it back in on the Blu-ray. I might be wrong. The Apple, classic. I know people are going to be jealous that I own the vinyl of The Apple. Superfly. I mean, it's Superfly. Curtis Mayfield soundtrack is the most iconic thing about that movie. Armed and Dangerous, big old John Candy here on the front. I don't know how they got in between the Superflies. Superfly TNT, which is garbage. It is a trash movie. The only thing going for it is that the title is better. Three Amigos, classic. Private School, featuring songs by Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates has 2 or 3 songs on the soundtrack that she sings. That's exciting. Iron Eagle. Come on, man. Iron Eagle. Sealed copy of the Rhinestone soundtrack. Now, that's a no-brainer right there. DC Cab, because I'm just buying the weirdest shit, but I like that art a lot. Roller Boogie rules. Porky's Revenge. I'm not a huge fan, but, my God, this has George Harrison and Willie Nelson songs on it. Penitentiary 3, because I'm just buying Mr. T soundtracks that aren't Rocky 3 for some reason. Nighthawks, because I'm buying Sylvester Stallone movies that aren't Rocky for some reason. Muhammad Ali in The Greatest, because I'm just buying boxing movies or boxing soundtracks that aren't Rocky. So I'm going to have to pause it on this video for a few minutes, seconds, whatever. Stunts. The soundtrack for Stunts. Now, never in a million years would I think I would find the soundtrack to Stunts, which I watched recently, and it's okay. This movie is kind of cool, and if there was a better copy of it out there, the condition of this soundtrack actually matches the condition of the print that seems to exist for this film that's out there. It looks bad. It's streaming in some places, but it looks bad. I would totally, if this was the first film that New Line Cinema produced like themselves, and if this existed somewhere and they could get, if they it would just be so great to have a decent transfer of this. But yeah, I saw the Stunts album, and I was like, that just seems like something like there were 5 copies of this. Like who in their right mind bought the Stunts soundtrack? But yeah, one of my record store adventures found it. Blind Date, which was just an odd find. Okay, so Book of Numbers. This is a blaxploitation movie I am not even aware of, and I have done extensive research on these things. I don't know. I need to look into this further, because maybe this is under a different title now, and I'm not putting it together. But I should figure out what Book of Numbers is, because blaxploitation is my jam, and I'm not familiar with it. Speaking of blaxploitation, I'm pretty much close to a full set of blaxploitation soundtracks here. Cleopatra Jones, Cool Breeze. I'm maybe 1 or 2 off, and I have the whole thing. Dangerously Close. Why not have an Albert Pune soundtrack on the Canon label in my home? Why not? Fast Break. What the hell is Billy Preston doing Gabe Kaplan soundtracks for? Why? And Foul Play, because I saw Foul Play many times when I was a kid, and the soundtrack isn't ingrained in my head. So there you go. There's a big fat stack of soundtrack albums that I was able to find out in the wild. Most of them are going to end up, some of them will end up in a crate just to have. Others are going to get displayed on the walls. You can probably figure out which ones those are. And yeah, let's. I've got a couple more albums to take a look at. I'm going to reset here and get those out for you, because there's an interesting story to tell with those. And we'll look at that in a second. So see ya. So these 4 albums I found at the Antique Emporium, which was that Red Barn. And wouldn't you know, each one, as the clerk was ringing me up, was like, this? And I'm like, yeah, I'm weird, I know. So, yeah, first, there's this album called I'm assuming the band is called Black and Blue. It features 5 white guys. No one is black or blue on the cover. Features a song called Wicked Bitch. So, it's on the Geffen label. Someone believed in them. I don't know. I'm going to have to listen to this. Raven. Look at these guys. They are Raven. They have a song called Rock Dogs. Rock Dogs. This is on the Atlantic label. Again, someone believed in them. They're dressed like football men. Kind of. I don't know. Bootsy. Man, I saw this and I was like, oh, right, I need this. And then you get up to the counter and you're like, listen. I mean, don't get me wrong. I need this. But also, yeah, it's a cover. It's an album cover, that is for sure. And then Isaac Hayes. This was the least. This is the most normal of those 4 albums. Yeah, but I'm almost close to a full Isaac Hayes collection, and I didn't have this one because it's in the beginning. So anyway, that was a weird experience at one antique store. Now let me reset and tell you about the other antique store that was even more awkward. So this other antique mall I went into had obviously a selection of albums, and I found 3 or 4 that I was like, yeah, I would buy these. And it's true. Like, anywhere where I saw these records, I would buy these. But the 4 of them together, when then handed to the sweet lady behind the counter, and then me having to make small talk about it for a couple of minutes while the credit card processed was awkward. And I did not mean it to be that way, and I didn't think about it till I got to the counter, but you'll see why. And it's merely a coincidence for these. This first one, Munich Machine Body Shine. I don't know, that just... the title is what grabbed me, and then I looked at the cover and I was like, oh, hello, ma'am. Giorgio Moroder produced it, so I'm interested to check it out, but obviously the cover is like, oh, hello. So then you get to Sweet Talks, which is 4 ladies just hanging out doing lady stuff, as ladies do, wearing your furs, talking on the phone while your friend's on the floor putting her boots on, and all sorts of just shenanigans going on, ladies doing stuff. So yeah, there's that. And then road music. My thought process was, hey, I'm on the road, I should have some road music. This double album set seems pretty cool. Just kind of like picturing, Trucker's Woman and other dumb trucker movies in my head, again, not thinking about the really, really braless woman on the cover. 70s, man, let me tell you. And then, the last one, Pumping Iron 2, the women. Again, if I had seen this literally anywhere, I would have picked it up. But again, you put all 4 of these together, and I look like a giant pervert who just goes to antique malls and buys record albums with ladies on them. Which isn't too far off, but yeah, I felt a little awkward, and but no regrets now. I don't ever have to see that lady again, so all good. I can't wait to listen to these, especially Body Shine. That'll be good. So anyway, that's it. Those are video games, those are movies, those are record albums, those are all the things that I spent time driving around on this pinball journey before places opened, on my way to places, stuff like that. Just going and buying cheap collectible things that make me happy. And there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not saying that to justify it to my brain that is, now thinking, oh my God, my poor credit card. But whatever, this is why I work. And also, I sold a whole bunch of stuff to get to this point to pay for this trip. So this is all exactly what I plan to do, which is to have a good time digging around looking for dumb shit and making a video about it, because apparently you guys love watching people showing off things that they have purchased. So anyway, that's that. If I buy anything else on this trip, I shouldn't, but if I do, I'll be sure to update this or put out another haul video, but I think my purchases are done. So, that's it for now. I'll see you. I'm going to transition to some other part of this video now. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's going to be great. There's going to be a wipe here and some sounds, and it's going to be cool, and then I'll be talking about something else. It's going to be really neat. So here comes.